Welcome to Last Call of the Gilded Troll, where we get drunk and we talk about past campaigns, because Avernus is a past campaign now. Crack it. Yeah! Our finale.
Now to not drink that because I have Jack and Coke.
What? Wait, you opened a drink?
I'll get to it.
Oh my god. Alright. It's gonna be flat by the time you get to it.
And?
For those of you who don't watch our stream, we just...
Why not?
we just finished Avernus this past Wednesday, so go watch the finale. It's on Twitch. It's not on YouTube yet.
Not on YouTube yet. I've been slacking on the YouTube uploads. Mostly because our internet keeps breaking and the videos get split into like 2 or 3 parts and I have to download them, edit them together, and then upload them instead of just transfer from Twitch to YouTube.
It's on Twitch. So watch it on Twitch.
It's on Twitch. And our VODs.
So this episode's going to be talking about everything we missed in Avernus.
I mean,
basically.
I don't want to just talk about the stuff you missed, although there was a lot of cool stuff you missed.
I really want to know.
Honestly,
stuff
okay.
Yeah.
Am I just like diving into things you missed? Or
no,
do you actually...
no. Relax. There's format, okay?
We have a format?
I'm a talk show host. We'll start with the same question we always do. How was it preparing it? Was it easy to prepare?
Easy to prep. I would say that it's fairly easy to prep because each chapter is fairly well insulated from the others. So when I started prepping it, I actually just immediately skipped to the last chapter of the book. I wanted to see how it ends. And then I actually kind of sort of just like prepped backwards from there. It was kind of weird.
Is that the first time you've done that?
I don't know if it's the first time I've done it, but it's the first time that I was aware that I was doing it. And I think it comes back to this thing that I learned recently, that it's like when you're writing a story, write the ending, and then figure out how you get there.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if that's good advice. I just know that it's a thing that I read. But chapter 1, Baldur's Gate, fairly well insulated from the rest of the game because it's go do Baldur's Gate things, and then when you're done there, go to hell.
It seems
Literally.
like a not a forced introduction, but
it kind of is. It kind of is a forced introduction. There's the main difficulty in Baldur's Gate, in the city of Baldur's Gate, but also in the module Baldur's Gate, is that in the first chapter you kind of have to foreshadow a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they do it in the book is they foreshadow all of those things, and they also set up a bunch of stuff that will never pay off. Like the Cult of the Dead 3.
Oh god, I forgot about the Cult of the Dead 3.
Right.
Yeah.
They're nothing outside of Baldur's Gate. They do not exist.
It prepares you for... No, it's baby's first steps into...
But here's the thing. Later in that same chapter, you're supposed to meet the Cult of Zariel. No. You're confusing Bel and Baal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, Bel is just a pit fiend general in Zariel's army, and Baal is a dead god.
That could have been something we missed. Bill was actually Baal the whole time.
Bill?
Bell.
You said Bill.
I said Bell. Bill.
God damn it, Luke, no audio.
Oh, shit. We
Jesus
fucked up
Christ.
again.
It's a stupid, like every time I unplug the headphones, it just deletes. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, now you should be able to hear Luke.
Professionals.
Luke, do your yell.
Ooh.
Oh, jeez. The alert box is under stuff.
Aw, sadistic witch. Thanks for subbing. Luke can learn sign language as a backup.
Got it.
That's a lot of work. I love watching live translation of sign language from when people give speeches and stuff because they're so empty.
No, my favorite is sign language translators at metal concerts.
Is that a thing?
That's a thing. Yeah.
No, really?
Yeah, it's hilarious because like usually they're headbanging.
Yeah, it's real intense.
But yeah, I would say in terms of prep, it's probably on the harder end, just because of all the stuff that you have to foreshadow early on so that it can pay off later.
So it was to your benefit that you started at the end.
It was a little bit, yeah. So I already knew that there was big ass spoilers for Avernus. Real quick, just putting that out there. I already knew that there was an angel inside of the companion, so I was able to write that into Abaddon's backstory.
Oh, cool.
I already knew about all the war machines, so I was able to just sort of gently lead you into being an artificer.
Oh, dude, I want to be an artificer no matter what. New shit, build shit.
You actually, our session 0 was actually like 3 days before Eberron came out. You remember that? Yeah. And you're like, it's fine, I'll just be UA artificer for now, and then we'll switch once the book comes out.
It was, I don't know if it got leaked, but level 1 was supposed to be like no different.
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah. It wasn't leaked. Adam Coble got an advanced copy because he worked for Roll20.
And then we sat down.
And I literally watched his stream to see what all of the level 1 features for Artificer were. And I was like, okay, it's identical to the UA at level 1.
Right.
We'll use the UA until Eberron comes out.
Yeah.
Lunaraya asks, how did Nixie repay her debt? Steph and I were actually talking about this the other day. I think yesterday.
So we ended the campaign where I had 9 soul coins.
So your debt was 20.
11.
Yeah, your debt was 20, but you had 9 on you.
I probably would have made my way back into hell somehow and paid it off, but I also toyed around with the idea of maybe I just wouldn't, and then I would have work in hell for all of eternity, and that doesn't sound so bad.
Yeah.
But then I kind of want to marry Folg. Unless Folg comes to hell with me.
Yeah. Folk lost his tentacle. Yeah, Folk did lose his tentacle right at the end.
Sucked. He was really upset about that too. So Avernus did this thing as you were going through each chapter. Some of them were really railroady, and then some of them were really sandbox.
Yeah.
So you actually flipped.
I kind of flipped the script, yeah.
Why?
Because I value sandbox. I think giving the players the ability to make choices is like 90% of the reason that I play D&D. Mm-hmm. It definitely makes DMing 100, probably about 300% harder than just telling them this is the story. You can, I guess, make choices along the way, but this is the way we're going.
But that's fun for you because you're really good at flying.
Yeah, I can fly by the seat of my pants and just deal with it. But I really value the players being able to make meaningful, significant choices that direct the course of the adventure.
What were the biggest choices we made?
So in Avernus, the way that it was sandboxed, and I used a blog post from Aventire Games, Avernus as a sandbox. I'll drop a link in chat for that.
Did you flip the script or script the flip?
I did both.
Juicy flip.
Yeah, so I just dropped a link to that blog post in chat. That actually came out literally like as we were getting to chapter 3. Like they posted that in March.
Cool.
But yeah, so the way that they sandboxed it was essentially, it was still a linear plot because I mean plots are linear.
They have to be.
But in order to give you choices that were meaningful and significantly impacted the play experience, you were given a choice of 3 of the fallen 3 that they were called: Bel, Haruman, Melanthius. Yeah. You could pick any one of those to go to, and then in order to find them, you needed to go to one of the 3 intermediaries, which were Mephistopheles, Mordenkainen, and Red Ruth. You picked Mordenkainen, but then you picked Red Ruth to find the blood that Mordenkainen needed, which was interesting. Like, I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
And that was edited by this this thing that you used, or was this in the base book?
So the base book for Chapter 3, it literally just has 2 highly linear paths, and they call them the Path of Devils and the Path of Demons. So once you get to Fort Knucklebone, the dream sequence, as written in the book, is very different from the one that I ran. It's not very different. It's just the vision that you get at the end is very different. And Lulu essentially goes, I remember, let's go to Haruman's Hill. Just right from Fort Knucklebone, you go to Haruman's Hill.
Okay.
Haruman doesn't have the info you need, though. Harumon's an unrepentant asshole, and you fight him, or you run, or you don't get info out of him. You can't, and you don't get info out of Jander either. He just dies.
That feels bad.
Right, and then Lulu goes, well, I guess I don't remember as much as I thought I did, but I remember something about like creating demons or destroying demons. And then that leads you to one of two locations. One of which is the Demon Zapper, the unicorn in a bubble, and the other is the spawning trees, which are these like trees made of like twisted rebar kind of metal that are just soaked in demon ichor, and demons just like grow from them like fruit.
That's so fucking metal.
Yeah.
I might have just ad-libbed that description of them,
Dude.
But yeah, like, these trees make demons. And then, depending on which of those two you go down a very linear path that ends up leading you to the Bleeding Citadel.
Is there way too much reliance on Lulu to guide the players?
I think so, yeah. A lot of people have had...
Andy actually made a really apt comparison. It's like, Lulu's just Navi.
Lulu is kind of like Navi.
Wait, does Navi give you plot?
Yes, absolutely.
She does?
Yeah.
Yeah. Showing my fucking not nerdum. Okay,
Yeah, you gotta play some Ocarina of Time.
Fine.
What would have happened if Lulu died? So there's actually guidance in the book for if Lulu dies. When you get to the Bleeding Citadel, when you get to the Bleeding Citadel, she's just there. If she died at some point, Lulu is just in the Bleeding Citadel because screw you, she needs to be here so that we can go into her memories.
Oh, that's fucking.
So talking about open world versus linear, we already talked about Storm King's Thunder, but how does the book itself compare to Storm King's Thunder's open world versus linear discovery? We already saw that you said you went with a third party thing to do the sandbox. Do you think it was similar in nature, or was it a step up, or?
So my main complaint about it's actually funny because they're both chapter 3. My main complaint about Storm King's Thunder chapter 3 is that they bury the lead so hard. You would expect that right in the beginning of the chapter, they're like, here's a bunch of places where encounters can happen. When you're bored of this, or the players have had enough of just randomly exploring, or you can drop in hints, eventually they run into Harshnag. But instead, they put that literally the last thing in that chapter and made it impossible to find unless you're literally reading the book cover to cover, which is really bad design. In Avernus, they made it hilariously easy to follow because it's chapter 3 is run Fort Knucklebone and then run Harumon's Hill and then optionally run the Hellwasp Nest, which is later in the chapter. Don't worry about that. That's optional. And then, after you're done with that, go to either the Demon Zapper, which is on the next page, or go to the Spawning Trees, which is 15 pages from now. And then once you're there, just start flipping pages as the players go location to location to location, because while it is sandbox, and they can go to any place, and they can end up in any place, there's still a very obvious linear plot with the Path of Demons and the Path of Devils. I kind of wish I had actually stuck with the original story in the book, because even if your players are dead set on following the Path of Demons, because of the way navigation works in Avernus, you can fuck up, you can fail, you can end up in the wrong place. And even though you're trying to be on the Path of Devils, you may just end up halfway through the Path of Demons all of a sudden. And it's like, well, this looks vaguely useful. So even though it looks super linear in construction, that one tiny mechanic that adds a little bit of randomness can make it super non-linear.
It's funny because you obviously gravitate towards sandbox.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which is why you went that way, but now looking back on it...
I actually feel like I railroaded you more than... By trying to make it sandboxy. Right. It's kind of weird, because the Aventire games, it's still linear. It's just at every decision point, they're like, well, here's 3 paths you can take. But then all 3 of those paths lead to the same location anyway.
Right.
And that's...
It's the illusion of choice.
It's literally the illusion of choice. Like, if you go to Mordenkainen, he wants the blood of a powerful fiend. Mm-hmm. If you go to Red Ruth, she's like, well, I can do that divination for you, but I literally need the blood of a fiend to do it.
We like
if you go to Mephistopheles, he's like, well, I literally want Tiamat's blood. she's a fiend. And so it's like,
That's a tall fucking order, man.
it's like, what's the difference?
Yeah.
And then, you know, you need blood, so, okay, well, where am I going to get blood? And then there's 4 choices for that. You can go to Ubelux, the now Balor, in the original text, he's a Barlgura, which honestly makes no sense. Why did they bother imprisoning a Barlgura? He's just an ape demon. I don't know. So there's Ubelux the Balor, Uldrak the Empyrean, the Pit of Shumrath, who is, I think he's a pit fiend, and then Tiamat. Those are the 4 choices for the blood pay part of Eventyr, of Eventyr's flow. And then once you do that, you pick one of the fallen 3 for the you know, your intermediary to send you to. You pick Haramon or Elanthius or Bel, and then you go to them, and each of them is supposed to have you do a side quest in order to get the information out of them. So Bel is like, yeah, I'll tell you, but only if you get me the adamantine keys. Haramon, Eventyr actually says that when Haramon dies, he's supposed to just leave a corpse, and you get no information, and Jander has no information for you, but Jander tells you, yeah, there's a thing that can get information out of his corpse. Go take him to the Sibriax. So you're supposed to do like a whole side quest, and I was just like, pass.
We're just gonna have them turn to lava, and then they can't do anything with
Yeah, I
lava.
really enjoyed that. I totally ad-libbed that. 100% ad-libbed at the table, him turning to lava.
And now it's a quote. I can't remember what the quote is.
How long does lava stay lava in hell?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
But yeah, like it's basically just like the illusion of choice.
Yeah.
I forget what Elanthius' side quest was. Oh, Elanthius sends you to Kaschichi. He's like, go free Kaschichi to cause trouble.
People brought up Lulu being like Navi. Did you like Lulu as a like a plot device?
I like Lulu as much as my players like Lulu, and I felt like that was not a lot.
Lulu's adorable.
She's adorable, but like
you can't do much.
You can't do much with her. She was inconvenient in combat. When the Balor exploded, she got caught in the blast, and if she failed the save, she would have died from full health. I rolled a 2, and I was like, she makes the save. Like, she had plot armor, is what I'm saying, and it sucks. I hate plot armor.
Yeah.
Her trumpet was pretty powerful, but she only gets it 3 times a day. And then after she's out of trumpets, she sucks. She has a tusk attack that's +2 to hit.
Because she's supposed to have that tusk attack as a fucking mammoth.
As a mammoth, yeah. So the way Lulu's supposed to work in the book is when you get to... So you're supposed to meet Lulu in the Prime Material, which made no fucking sense to me. Like, she's just supposed to be, like, chilling with a wizard you happen to meet. And it's like, oh yeah, take her with you, I'm tired of her. Seriously.
I don't want my pet anymore.
So I changed that so that she appears during the ritual of returning. But she gets her at-will spells, which is like literally like light and actually
which we already had thanks to the Asmar.
Yeah, right. Let me see what her at-will spells are. So her at-will spells are light, just literally light. She gets her at-will spells as soon as you get to Avernus. So when you met her, she still had that, or she already had it. She gets her 2-a-day spells, which are Bless, Cure Wounds, and Protection for Evil and Good.
Okay.
When you get to Chapter 4.
Okay.
You meet her in Chapter 1.
Yeah, God.
She gets Light when you start Chapter 2.
Yeah.
And she gets first level spells when you hit Chapter 4.
What's the player progression comparatively?
Say it again?
By chapter 4,
1
what
versus
level are
chapter
we?
4.
Oh, Chapter 4 was Bleeding Citadel, so you were level 11 when you got there.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to have an additional competent player in something that's written.
No, but she's literally worthless for 90% of the campaign.
She's
So it feels like it's like what's it? Not a fetch quest, the escort mission.
Yeah, it's an escort mission, and it feels bad.
Fuck that shit.
But the dumbest thing is, she gets her 2-a-day spells at the beginning of Chapter 4, and Chapter 4 is the Scab, the Bleeding Citadel, and Idolben.
Which is really
That
short.
took us 2.5 sessions.
Yeah.
And then she gets her once-a-day spells, which are Banishment, Heal, Raise Dead, Shape Change into a Mammoth, and Teleport.
She had Raised Dead.
Yeah, at the end she had Raise Dead.
Neat. Oh, so it didn't even matter that fucking Fold died.
Yeah,
Did it?
yeah. Well,
Eh.
well, no, because Azuriel has resurrection.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so it's just like the progression of her spells was really stupid. So I gave her Bless like halfway through chapter 3. I was just like, she cast Blessed. You guys are all a little bit better at stuff.
Yeah.
Go.
And then if we questioned it, it was like, I remember.
It's the
a
power
little
of
bit.
friendship, unlocking my memories. No, like literally, like there's actually text in the book that's like power of friendship.
Is she hard?
She's hard, yeah.
Cool.
Folks water.
I'm
No, doesn't work. Doesn't work.
fired.
Doesn't work. Doesn't work.
I could go either way. I already asked you what you changed. What did we miss out on?
What did you miss out on? All right, so one of the things that I kind of regret is that I didn't. I did play it up. I did play up the Mad Max. You know, there were probably like 3 or 4 like entire sessions dedicated to doing really cool War Machine stuff.
Those were like my favorite.
Right, and I kind of wish I had done more. So there are these 3 in the book. There are 3 warlords of Avernus: Bitter Breath, Feanor, and Princeps Kovix. Bitter Breath is a horned devil with his wings ripped off, and he can't make contracts. So anytime he speaks, just smoke spews out of his mouth.
So metal.
Feanor is a human necromancer with an umbrella made of human hands. And then Princeps Kovix he's just a chain devil. He's a really cool looking chain devil, but he's just a chain devil. I don't know his stick. But then there's a bunch of homebrew warlords of Avernus.
The tattooist was a dragon?
Yeah, the tattooist is a gold dragon.
What the fuck?
Yeah, Mahadi was a Rakshasa, and
cool.
Bernie the Barber is a gold dragon, if I recall correctly. And you guys never learned that. It's fine. But there are a bunch of homebrew warlords of Avernus. So the Grung was a homebrew warlord of Avernus that I just got from some blog somewhere. I can look it up I'm gonna look it up just so I can plug them because I feel like that's something I should do.
Stay tuned for crediting the appropriate sources because some of you watching know what we're talking about.
Yeah, some of you.
I don't think Luke knows.
What?
No, we told you.
Shadow Scriptorium. I swear to God, is that Shadows? No, it's probably not.
Someone published on Reddit, like I basically made.
I made a train heist from scratch with no involvement from anyone else, and they had a lot of details that people on the Avernus Discord like specifically talked about, and it's like there are way too many coincidences for me to believe that you did not steal any of these ideas from us.
Credit your sources.
But yeah, shadowscriptorium.wordpress.com. They had Warlords of Avernus, Sug, and the Grung Army. And then there was a Mind Flayer warlord that you guys saw while you were at the Wandering Emporium. That's actually out of the official D&D Avernus comic, Infernal Tides.
Oh, okay. We were going to do something with him, and I think when we woke up the next morning, he wasn't there anymore.
I think so. And then there was another warlord who was actually an angel. She was a Death Pact angel, which is a stat block from Ravnica, and I got that from the Avernus Discord. And I am going to find out which. That's Scuzz. Yeah, that was Scuzz on the Avernus Discord. Adelphi was her name. He made her a Fire Main angel. I thought that the Death Pact angel was more appropriate.
The problem is if you wanted more interaction with the warlords, they would have needed very specific information that they shouldn't have had.
Yes and no. I mean, they're going all over Avernus, like killing people, stealing shit, talking to people. Like they could have had a lot of weird information that you might not have thought they had. The thing is, most of them just kind of want to kill you and steal your shit. And there's there's like an uneasy truce at the Wandering Emporium because Mahadi acts with the authority of Asmodeus. Not even Zariel, Asmodeus.
Which we never found out.
Which you never found out.
Yeah.
Another thing that you guys missed out on is I never had Mahadi offer you any devil deals. Mahadi will offer you devil deals, and it's literally just, I will take your soul, like that. I will accept nothing else, and in return, I'll give you like really cool fucking items. Like one of the things he can offer you is a rod of lordly might.
I don't know what that is.
Let me look it up. Rod of lordly might.
Is it cool shit?
I mean, it's a legendary magic item. It's got 6 buttons on it. If you press button 1, it becomes a flame tongue. If you press button 2, it becomes a +3 battle axe. If you press button 3, it becomes a +3 spear. If you press button 4, it becomes a climbing pole up to 50 feet long with horizontal bars like a ladder.
I make ladder.
If you press button 5, it turns into a handheld battering ram that gives you a +10 bonus to strength checks made to break through shit.
Oh,
and if you press button 6, it goes back to normal form. Also, when you hit a creature with a melee attack using the rod, you can force the target to make a DC 17 con save. On a fail, they take an extra 4d6 necrotic damage, and you regain a number of hit points equal to half that necrotic damage. Once a day. And you can do another, you can paralyze on a hit, you can terrify on a hit once per day. This thing does a shitload.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, yeah, you get a Rod of Lordly Might, but I get your soul. And then the way the contract works is essentially, if you die and you're level 13 or higher, I get your soul immediately. If you're not 13 or higher yet, I don't care. You can come back to life.
You're not worth my time yet.
Pretty much.
Do you wish, here, big question, do you wish we would have made more deals?
No, I think the amount of deal making was pretty okay. I wish the deals were a little bit better spread out through the party. I wish that I could have enticed more people into deals.
Yeah. It felt bad being the only one.
I also kind of like, I didn't give up on it, but I just sort of forgot about bargain basement devil deals, which is what the book calls, hey, I'll give you a nat 20 on your next death save if you do a favor for me. Like, archdevils are supposed to just reach out to you anytime you're unconscious.
That happened with me, right?
It happened with you twice.
Yeah.
And a bunch of other people failed death saves, and I never offered it to them. No, that's actually not true. I offered one to Abaddon, and he's like, shut up, I throw a nat 20. I do wish that I had offered a few more devil deals. I honestly think that every single time I offered a devil deal, aside from the example I just gave, you took it.
I learned my lesson. When you give something to a player, you fucking take it. I think Jacobs would have.
Probably.
Yeah. He would have been like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. He didn't even get a chance. That Gloomweaver just murdered him.
It was AC and Con were kind of low.
What was that?
I said it's AC and Con were kind of low, so.
Yeah, he had +1 Con and like 12 AC, and it was just like...
You should have taken Shield.
Yeah, I mean, bargain basement... oh my god, 12-sided guy is having a hard time. Bargome basement devil deals. Bargain bayment.
We're drinking.
Oh my god, Lunarai is having a hard time too.
Oh my god.
Shioel wouldn't have helped.
Guys, spell check your shit before you hit enter, right?
Oh shit. Fuck.
Is there anything you feel like you handled badly?
Yeah. I handled Blanket's exit badly. And by Blanket I mean Kyle.
Oh. Are we getting into that now?
I think we're getting into that now.
Alright, so we start with 5 players.
Yeah, we started with 5 players. About halfway through the campaign, Emily realized that this campaign probably wasn't for her.
As a first-time D&D
Yeah,
player.
it was a little high stakes, it was a little dark, it was a little heavy, and she was having a lot of like actual anxiety related to the game, and like if the game is causing you anxiety, stop playing the game.
Yeah.
And you know, we talked with her and we tried to make it more accessible to a new player. But
it's hard to incorporate a druid into Avernus.
Yeah, that definitely was a roadblock.
Druid is also a really complicated first time.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say the druid is the most complicated.
It is. You're a full
because you're a full caster and you have wild shape.
Right.
Yeah. so we all collectively decided that it's probably best that she just step away instead of torturing herself with the game.
Yeah.
That I think we handled fine. But as the game went on...
I didn't ask this with the...
okay. As the game went on, I got less and less tolerant of, like, shenanigans. I wanted the tone to get darker and darker as the game went on.
Yeah.
And Kyle was just sort of, like, resolutely, like, bright and happy and joking. And it got under my skin. And it was not really...
It wasn't his fault.
It wasn't his fault because, again, first time player, and I'll have to watch session 0 again because I have that ability, but I may not have adequately set the tone for the campaign.
I think me and Luke definitely knew going into it. It's like, you're going into hell. This is going to be gritty.
Yeah, but starting off as a new player and learning when to shift tone from like starting in an area that isn't like super, well, Baldur's Gate is like a rough and tumble area. Like there's gonna be misdeeds, there's gonna be jokes, there's gonna be stuff like that.
It's the city of blood,
right? And there's nothing wrong with having a light attitude.
Yeah.
In that sort of setting.
Right. Well, I mean, that's actually like really funny because the book says Lulu should be a source of light in the darkness. And I wasn't even using her for that. Like, she was just like kind of campy, friendship is magic.
Yeah.
So like Blanket was a Deliverance. Its name is Deliverance. But like So I kind of told Kyle it would be better for everyone if he didn't play anymore, and I feel really bad about it.
And this comes back to play styles too. Like, it wasn't just he didn't know how to roleplay a character. He didn't know how to give a character a backstory. When you're not invested in the story, it makes it harder to DM that player.
Yeah.
But Kyle's a new player, didn't know that.
Right.
That's really what it boils down to.
Kyle, if you're watching, I'm sorry.
Oh. How dare you? Yeah, no,
I especially feel bad because there was literally 4 sessions without him. It's just like, I could have just, even if it was bothering me, I could have just sucked it up for another 4 sessions and at least given him the satisfaction of finishing.
Yeah. I think what also contributed was starting to play in person and then playing online, and then there were more room for distractions, and everything was harder, and you had to learn roll 20, so like the game got frustrating because we weren't used to that atmosphere. You live and learn, then you...
I also didn't know that it was 4 sessions. I didn't, but if I had actually like sat there and thought about it, I could have figured it out that it was 4 sessions. Although, going into what is now our last session, I was like, yeah, it's like anywhere from 1 to 5. And then it took 1, so...
From that point out of Idle Glen, what choices would we have made to, like, extremely elongate it to, like, 5 more sessions?
So if you guys had actually decided to wade into the Blood War, there's actually, in Chapter 5, there's scenarios written out for how to handle players wading their way through the Blood War to get to Zariel. And that combat of wading through the Blood War could have easily taken 2 sessions, just on its own.
Yeah.
And then, if you fail to redeem Zariel, that's going to turn into a badass boss fight, which is probably an entire session in its own right.
You said we could have beaten her.
I think it was definitely possible with the Holy Avenger and the Sword of Azuriel. I do think it was, and Lulu is a mammoth. Mm-hmm. I do think that it was possible for the 3 of you plus Bilbus plus Lulu to actually take her. Also, you guys did like very nearly twice Yenagu's max HP. It's like
How
your
many
damage
nat
output's
20s did
asinine.
Abaddon blow on that one?
I think only like
Like
2.
4.
No,
No, like
it's
4.
a lot more than
Just
2.
people kept giving them to me.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Your support is appreciated.
But yeah, at one point I was like his hit points went into the negative, and I was like, okay, when he hits negative max, then he'll die. But he didn't get there. After 5 rounds, I was like, okay, the angel shows up.
Yeah. So you were talking about the resources that you use to prep Avernus. You also did the DMing stream on Mondays,
The
like
DM prep. Yeah.
Did that provide any new perspectives for you? Is that something you're going to continue doing moving forward?
It's
No, you all suck.
Yeah, you guys are all garbage. No. Your suggestions are terrible, and I ignore them all. No, it's definitely useful, but I think the actual usefulness in the DM prep stream is less the suggestions I get from viewers and more the questions they ask me. I will frequently get suggestions that are just like, no, I'm not doing that. But I'll get questions about things that I'm planning on doing, and then I'll go, okay, let me think about that. Let me answer that. Huh. Okay. All right. I'm probably going to do this a different way than I was just assuming I was going to do it, because now I'm thinking through it.
It makes you think about it.
It's essentially just like rubber duck debugging, which I don't know if you guys... I'm a programmer. That's the thing I do. You just talk at a rubber duck, and that solves your problems. I swear to God.
I'm usually that rubber duck.
No, you're not. Calvin is my rubber duck.
Who's Calvin?
My pencil cup.
Oh.
He's a little robot. My little robot buddy.
No, you usually come to me to bitch about your coworkers.
Oh, yeah. I bitch about my coworkers. Whose train heist? No. Your suggestions... The Avernus Discord was very useful, but the suggestions specifically during the DM prep stream, I usually went into the DM prep stream knowing what I was going to prep, and then just using the questions you guys ask and occasionally the suggestions you guys give to shape what I was already going to build.
Yeah.
But the decision of what I'm going to build generally came from either the book or the Avernus Discord or random blog posts that I found either by Googling or through the Descent to Avernus Discord or the Descent to Avernus subreddit or the Discord.
A lot of that probably comes from you enjoy shaping things and individualizing it for us who you know better than the majority of people you're getting. Yeah.
I do at this point though think that it was an absolute travesty they didn't have a train heist in the book. Yeah. I think that's a waste.
Yeah, especially with the whole Mad Max theming.
Yeah.
Stuff.
What's a really well-known movie or something that just revolves around being on a train? It's like you go from Mad Max to
Snowpiercer.
No, Snowpiercer is its own fucking
Snowpiercer's
thing.
weird.
It is weird. They were eating people the whole time, guys.
Our train heist. Wow. You guys
Cruise
can't spell.
No, Chris Evans was in it.
Yeah.
Captain America.
No, one where No, it was a different movie. I think Tom Cruise is dead and he kept reliving stuff.
No,
Edge of Tomorrow. No, the one on the train. Yeah, that's Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah. That's Source Code.
That one.
But then there's Edge of Tomorrow where Tom Cruise dies repeatedly and comes back to life.
Yeah.
I guess it would just be most equivalent to Ocean's 11. You go from Mad Max to Ocean's.
Yeah, kind of.
Alright. Try to make comparisons, yeah.
What are my thoughts about the first genie summon? I have a lot of thoughts about it. I had a lot of thoughts about it prior to it ever happening because you told me about it 3 levels before it ever happened. I can't wait till they get to level 10. Lunariah, the genies are CR 11. Oh, I can't wait till they get to level 11. But no, that was really cool. I actually thought it was really, really cool how as soon as the odds were clearly stacked against you, the community was like, let's stack them the other way.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoyed the Afridi for the last... That was his summon, right?
Yeah, Lunariah summoned the second Afridi too.
That was cool how you played it off of Bilbus, and Bilbus just wished for things, and Afridi was like,
Yeah, I mean, I highly doubt Lunaraya expected it to go the way it did.
That was cool though.
And I don't think any of the wishes that Bilbus or any of the Hellrider Revenants made actually helped them in any way. Bilbus's wish healed him and turned him into a bigger stat block, but then you just murdered him again anyway.
I mean, they would have died if they didn't wish for that, so that's a plus, I guess.
I didn't care how he would wish. I just wanted wishes. I mean, yeah, that's why we have summons. It's like you get to shape things,
and then just watch what the DM fucking does with it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's gonna be totally not expected, which is why I think Avernus really early on we were like, you can make summons, but you can't dictate how they would act.
Yeah, you don't get to choose how they act. You decide if they're hostile or friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we had to add the rule that they disappear at the end of the session if they're friendly, because we had Chesty for like 3 sessions.
Oh god, I forgot about Chesty.
God, yeah.
Emily loved Chesty.
She did, and then he got absolutely annihilated by a bullet, just crit to death.
He had to die at some point.
He had to die. I mean, it was either him or you.
Oh, now the campaign is finished. You know that list where you ranked all the modules? Where would it be now?
Didn't I put Avernus in that list?
You did, but
Okay.
now that's finished. Where would it go?
Where did I put it in the
I
list?
think you had it at... Mine was at like 3.
Well, here, let's... reddit.com/u/the
actually
Gilded
don't-
Troll.
I actually don't even know where mine would be at this point.
I ranked it 3rd under Curse of Strahd. Wow, under Curse of Strahd and Fandelver. Why do I have Fandelver so high?
You're an idiot.
Yeah, I would put Avernus above Fandelver. Definitely.
So is that 2?
Yeah, definitely.
Where's mine at? You had the post up, right? I posted underneath.
Yeah, full comments.
I think I had mine. It's 3 for me too.
You did also put it at 3 under Curse of Strahd and Dragon Heist.
I think it would probably stay there, actually. I was expecting a move, but I can't remember what
Question
Luke
answered.
said.
I don't think Luke's is on Reddit.
No, it's not.
No, I think I had mine at 3rd too, though. I think I had Curse of Strahd and TOA above it.
TOA, really?
Yeah.
TOA
I really like
is...
TOA. I like the setting a lot.
Yeah, no, I really, really enjoy the setting of TOA, but it's just so hard to prep as a DM that I had to rate it lower.
The only reason I didn't like TOA more was the amount of, like, dungeon crawling.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind...
Or else it would have been higher.
So the reason you guys had so much dungeon crawling as compared to literally anything else in the campaign
Because you skipped half
is
of
because
the
you
shit in
skipped
the,
the
middle.
entire hex crawl.
Yeah.
Tries not see.
Jesus.
I do have to say that many of us had chills the other day. Y'all did a great job with that campaign. Thanks.
I appreciate that. I felt like a lot of my ending... I felt at the time, in the moment, that it was falling a little flat. It is so hard to gauge players' reactions online.
Yeah.
When players are engaged and you're in person, there's a lot of leaning forward. There's a lot of strong eye contact. And there's a lot of like audible gasps and just there's cues.
Yeah.
Online, you get people are used to not interrupting one another, so you get
Yeah.
And if I'm not staring at like all of the Zoom
You don't see
pictures, I don't get that. So it felt like it was falling flat to
You
me.
need an audience to pull off scenes like that.
Right.
Virtual audience.
And I had a hard time looking at Zoom because a lot of it was read aloud text.
Yeah.
I didn't have it memorized. I didn't have like what the scene was, built into my being, so I couldn't just verbal diarrhea, which is something.
That would have been a shitload of verbal diarrhea, though.
In order to do it verbatim, yes, it would have been very difficult to do. But I don't like to do it verbatim anyway.
Yeah.
Like I ad-libbed in the middle of the read aloud text.
Yeah.
When I thought that a sentence needed punching up, and I thought that a point needed emphasizing, I punched it up in the moment. Excuse me.
There's a lot of vodka at the bottom.
So like it's really hard. It's really hard.
It didn't fall flat though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I loved... The funniest part for me was Full gave this, like, mini speech that I'm pretty sure is clipped on Twitch, where it's like, oh, I'll put away those scary bat wings and, like, just come on out.
Get the pretty
and
ones.
then it happened.
Yeah, and then that thing that he said literally happened.
Folks, the chosen one.
I actually didn't think Luke had any nat 20s at that moment, so I was like, this motherfucker has to roll a d20. And then he's like, nat 20, 30 persuasion.
I have Flash of Genius left, too. I could have bumped it a little bit.
Does that work on ability checks?
Ability checks, saving throws, and...
I think it's only 2 out of the 3.
I think it's ability checks and saving throws, then.
Ability check or saving throw. Yeah. Does not work on attack rolls. Okay. So yeah, you could have just, like, here, have a +5.
Yeah.
But I have actually heard of... I don't know if the players were metagaming or they just assumed they would have to make a persuasion check, but they had diviner wizards, and they literally just spent a week waiting for the diviner to get a really high number on one of his portent dice, so that he could portent that persuasion to like a 29.
Yeah, like how the fuck?
I don't know.
Someone read the ending.
Yeah, honestly. Luke, I'm gonna ruin this guy's whole campaign wrap up.
That was chat, wasn't me.
Was there anything, any interactions the players have with the story that completely fucking took you off guard? I think Abaddon just like taking Bilbus and like knighting him and the other guy
that
were like
very much took me off guard.
Yeah,
How
does Bilbus react to that?
I legit have no. Just give me a minute.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I had a really hard time with that one specifically. So obviously I didn't go into that encounter thinking that Bilbus would turn back into a human. I actually asked Mike, my brother, and also he played in Dungeons & Mad Mage, for those of you who don't know who Mike is. I asked Mike prior to the session, what do you think Bilbus's alignment is right now? And I sort of gave him a rundown of like what Bilbus had gone through at that point. You know, in life he was this paragon of lawful good. You know, like not even lawful stupid. Like he was actually lawful good. Mm-hmm. Like you see a child stealing and he gets caught by the merchant. He pays for the food and then he does everything he can to get that child like money in a sustainable way. That's the kind of person he was. And, you know, he would promote social programs that would prevent that kind of thing from happening. He was actually lawful good. And then he died in a horrible, uncaring way. And that drove him mad to the point where he came back as a revenant. Yeah. So as a revenant, he's not good anymore. He's consumed by wrath. And part of that is because he's in Avernus. Avernus amplifies your wrath. It amplifies your pride. Right. That's the thing with Avernus. Mm. So those sins were amplified in him, and he wasn't good anymore. But then what happens when he suddenly turns back into a human? Which I did not account for.
I think your answer of ashamed is probably the best one.
He was deeply ashamed of himself. Yeah. But he couldn't admit it, so he kept fighting. Yeah.
God, he would have been an interesting, like, he was a reoccurring villain, but, like, imagine that as a player character. Like an Avernus player character. It's like, that would have been really neat.
Yeah. And it's actually interesting, because I was planning for Bilbus to sort of be a foil to Abaddon. Yeah. And he died before he could get a chance. Yeah. Because, like at that point...
Especially with that Asmar guy absolutely shitting on him.
Right. Like Abaddon, you know, up to that point, Luke was playing him as this, like, lazy, fat, like, just kind of, like, he's a paladin, or, I mean, he wasn't a paladin originally.
How did Luke feel about Abaddon? How about that? Speaking for his fucking character.
Yeah, he was going in the right direction. Yeah, it was like he was a jaded, like, person. He was down, like, he failed already. Like, he was just down in the dumps and, like, trying to figure out what was going on. And then when the whole thing with him figuring out that Elturel was actually in Avernus and that he could actually do something about it, it sparked something in him that he could maybe bring some meaning to his life and try to use that as a focus.
And then Bilbus was supposed to be like this sort of naive, idealistic like foil to Abaddon, and then he just died. And I was just like, well, how can I recycle this character?
Lunarai asked me a question earlier I kind of want to address, but I don't know
Sure.
if I have the answer yet.
All
So,
right.
Steph, if the campaign had continued and I would have summoned a genie who would give Nixie wishes, what would she wish for? Debt to be paid off.
Well, are
there any restrictions?
It's the wish spell, and it's a
So-
genie, so he's probably gonna pervert it.
Kind of want the old lady back. Just so I can get that off my back.
Get this blood off of my hands.
I don't know about the third one.
It's 1d3 wishes, so there's no guarantee of
Understand
actually
the
get 3.
Yeah.
Understand the balance. Alright,
Just
so...
get me into fucking Mordenkind's mind for a hot minute.
No, hold on. So if you actually wished to understand the balance,
Yeah.
you're gone. Your character ceases to exist.
Goodbye.
You become an Alep.
A what?
An Alep
A what?
is an undead creature,
Yeah.
usually formerly a wizard, who learned a secret of the multiverse, and it drove them insane.
Oh my god, I love it. That's so cool.
And you
What a way
died.
to go.
Your mind shattered, and you died.
Well, hopefully I would have done that before or after paying off the debt. You gotta think about like the order of these things.
But no, if you wish to understand the balance, I'd be like, you're an Alep, done.
Mordenkind's mind, Thaco. What would Abaddon have done after the campaign?
That's a good question.
What I have done after the campaign.
Because we already talked about what Nixie would do. Like, she's going to go back to hell, pay off her debt.
Yep.
Probably work for Aurelia anyway.
2 shots of vodka.
Glug, 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 glug.
That's
Whoa.
A lot. That's a lot. Shit.
Becoming an Alep destroys the soul. Neat.
Damn.
There's no High Overseer in Elturel anymore. That's
Yeah,
true.
and I don't think that would be like a good enough cause. I don't think. Like I would have to do something that would be.
Keep in mind that at the end of the campaign, Abaddon only kind of existed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it would have to be something that would still follow in the footsteps of Zuriel, or not follow in his footsteps, but what's the word I'm looking for?
You follow the guidance of
guidance.
the sword, essentially.
Yeah. So that's what I was thinking. It would probably be go back to hell or something akin to that.
So what? Take over for Zariel?
Or just wait into the Blood War, or actually.
I mean, that's what Zariel did.
Yeah. I guess it would be something like it's really hard to do that separation. Like, at what point? Like, because if you're going, Azuriel was naive. Azuriel thought she was, it was the strong, badass person that can fix everything. Yeah.
So I will say that I added that. Like the whole gender neutral thing.
It makes sense for.
Well, here's the thing. So Elturians refer to this is all me.
Mm-hmm.
All of the things I'm about to say are things that I came up with. Elturians.
Powerful statement.
Elturians are refer to Azuriel as he, because Azuriel presented as vaguely male-ish, and it's a warrior, and they're sexist, so they assume warriors are male.
Yeah.
Lulu knew that Azuriel was gender neutral because angels don't have gender.
Yeah.
And then, in turning into Zariel, Azuriel just took a female gender persona.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I added the pronoun weirdness was to throw you off the scent of Azuriel as Zariel. Because I introduced the name Azuriel, and after the session you guys were like, that sounds really close to Zariel. You knew from the start, and I knew you knew, and I was desperately trying.
Or that book.
It was a tapestry.
Yeah, the tapestry, but it's like, dude.
Like, I I was desperately trying to throw you off the scent so that we'd come as a surprise later. Desperately. I don't want to spoil something completely different, but like, you came up with the right answer, so I tried to throw clue after clue after clue that you were wrong, so that you would dismiss it and come up with some other thing, so that when it ended up coming out that you were right, it'd be like, oh wow, we were right, cool. Yeah. But then like halfway through the campaign, I was just like, I wish I never fucking did this, and I just called her Zariel from the start. I regret everything. And I've actually said as much on the Avernus Discord. Like, there are other people calling the angel form as Juriel, and every time someone mentions it, I'm like, don't do it. Just don't do it. That's where all that gender weirdness came from. It was just like, I wanted to throw you off the scent.
I honestly thought it was Wizards trying to be all inclusive.
I mean, that is a reasonable assumption, and that's definitely an okay goal. I mean, in Dragon Heist, there was Fala Lefalier, who was, I think it was Fala Lefalier. Yeah, it was Fala Lefalier, who's gender neutral.
And a super gay couple too.
Yeah, they also had Embrick and Avi, who were a gay couple of water and fire genasi.
Yeah. But because I knew they were trying to be all inclusive and
I mean, Jeremy Crawford's gay. Like,
yeah. I just assumed it was like going on that sort of.
Yeah. You thought that was the rationale for Azuriel being gender neutral.
Yeah.
When it was actually just I pulled it out of my ass to throw you off the scent.
Yeah. I have questions for Luke.
It did kind of bother me. It did kind of bother me, like, how much joking there was about like how awkward it is to use gender neutral pronouns. It's like they. It's not that hard.
No, I know. It's we're not assholes to anyone.
It's new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're not used to doing it because we don't.
Yeah, no, we don't have any gender neutral friends.
Right.
We don't have any non-binary friends,
right.
Actually.
It just comes from not dealing with that consistently.
And that's not because we don't associate with non-binary people.
Oh
it's
just
God,
because
we don't
we're
know.
Digging a hole here.
Yeah, I keep digging. I'm gonna stop digging.
That's all you gotta say.
What'd you say?
Yeah, I missed it.
Things just don't change overnight. Change takes time.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we're you're not gonna get me to stop saying fuck in a week.
Yeah.
It's just not gonna happen. Oh, Luke. Did you interact with your Azamar guide as much as much as you wanted to, or in the way that you wanted to throughout the campaign?
No, but in the end, it paid off way more than I thought it would, and I was happy with the route it went. Like, yeah. I was expecting little tidbits of like, hey, you might want to help out these found townsfolk or something like that here or there, like some throwaway stuff just to fluff up a character. But the fact that it had a meaningful, like, that not only like towards the end of the campaign to have like some meaning or significance, but then if you look back throughout Abaddon's life, it would actually have much more significance because you had someone locked in a globe looking down on you the whole time, actually there, that you didn't know was in pain and suffering, that was like conveying emotion to you and guiding you. So it was really cool.
So he was in the companion the whole time.
The entire time, yeah. So he was captured by Bell 51 or so years ago, and then crammed into this device that Bell called the Solar Insidiator.
No, I'm talking about prior. Like before. Oh, no,
yeah. 51 years ago.
Sorry.
Which is interesting because Abaddon is actually older than Nasius's tenure in the companion. So Nasius was his guide originally.
Okay.
Nasius was Abaddon's angelic guide from Abaddon's birth. And then Nasius was captured.
Okay. That's awkward.
But Nasius, not wanting to put his problems on the person he's trying to guide, just sucked it up and gave him emotional support throughout his life.
Yeah.
And then once transported into hell, Nasius, and I don't know if you remember this, Luke, but at the start of the campaign, I mentioned to you that since Elturel disappeared, your angelic guide has been silent.
Yeah. Yep.
Because he was on a different plane of existence. He was trapped in Avernus, so he couldn't contact you. which I don't know if that makes a lot of sense, because generally
Probably
angels
not.
spend their time in Mount Celestia, which is a different plane of existence.
Yeah, he was still trapped though. It's like
He was trapped, yeah. It's like he couldn't get to the like cross-planar message.
cell phone, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, the like you didn't hear from him the entire time that you were on the Prime Material, and he wasn't. And then you went to Avernus, and then he started being like really abusive to you because of just the fell magics.
Fucking fat ass.
You're flying over a pit with a bag of holding full of your friends, and he's just like, "You are so fucking fat."
And he asked, now that you've been streaming a few full campaigns, what would you say is the biggest thing you've learned
From stream?
from streaming as a DM?
Oh jeez. Oh shit. Biggest thing I learned.
I feel like we missed another question too. I gotta go back a little bit.
Well, a lot of people asked if I wanted a jackhammer or an excavator to keep digging that hole.
We're
fuck
not
you,
assholes.
Thanks.
We're just bad at dealing with political things, alright?
I'm an asshole. I don't care.
Yeah. No, that does look like the only question you missed.
Yeah.
That is a really good question. Biggest thing I've learned from DMing on stream.
His DMing style, I can just say, from my perspective, has not changed at all from streaming.
I think the thing that I've learned most is that players matter. Players matter.
We didn't beforehand.
No, I mean you obviously fucking mattered beforehand. It's just like
fucking bitch.
no, like players matter as much as, or even more so than their characters do. And I'm having a hard time sort of like
keep drinking. This is good shit.
Yeah.
You're getting all emotional now.
I'm like 3 shots of whiskey and half a harder in.
I've had 2 shots of vodka. Players matter. Why do players matter in a streaming capacity?
No, players matter, period.
Oh, okay.
Like, usually when I go... Okay, alright. Usually when I go into a game, I kind of disregard the player in favor of their character. And I'm aware of how their character feels. I'm aware of how their character reacts to things. I'm aware of what their character wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
But streaming has made me more aware of what the player wants, separate from what the PC wants. Because those things can be diametrically opposed to one another.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think the reason that that's become so clear to me is viewers seem to latch onto players more than they latch onto PCs. So when I come to a table, I latch onto the PC because that's the part of the game that I can latch onto.
Interact with.
Like that's the part of the game I interact with regularly. But the viewers latch onto the players, and then even in our Discord, people are asking our players, like, how do you feel about this thing? And then players are giving honest answers about how they feel about it, and then how their character feels about it.
Yeah.
And seeing the difference between those two things isn't something that I've ever thought to really ask about before.
Yeah. Players can have a specific idea for a character, even though it's not in tune with their own personality traits, and could be conflicting with them. So sometimes it might be hard for them to actually go a certain route.
Right.
I remember when you and me did the one-on-one role-playing when Folk was dead and Nixie was going to make that first deal. And we decided to do it on the Discord because we knew you weren't on it, Jacobs wasn't on it, and Kyle and Emily weren't either. So it's like, alright, let's just take this fucking opportunity to fucking roleplay online. We're gonna type everything out even though we're gonna be staring at each other the whole time, right?
And Nixie's cool as a fucking cucumber.
And I was having the worst anxiety. I'm like, shit, there's a wrong answer here. I fucked up. And then, like, I made the decision, came back. And then you asked me, well, you could have came to me. I'm like, shit, I didn't consider that. Oh my god! It was really funny. No, I did see you separate player
Right.
and character more after that interaction, though. And that was a result from streaming, because we would not have done it that way.
We wouldn't have done it in a public way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incidentally, if you guys like that, let us know, and maybe we'll consider doing that for other campaigns, like role-playing in between sessions for stuff with the DM, which can happen frequently.
Oh yeah, we did that a lot in Curse's Drop, me and Ian.
Oh yeah. Like, how cool would it have been as a viewer to have been in on that? Like, oh my god. As long as you guys can keep the spoilers away from chat while we're playing sessions, like, I'm all for that. I think that'd be really cool.
Andy says that was a really fun chat to watch. I remember like 2 or 3 people like butted in while we were doing it, and I just deleted their fucking comments. I was like, don't interrupt this asshole! I don't even know who it was.
I can't remember.
A bunch of people are pointing out like tiny things that I missed. Zariel can eavesdrop on every single telepathic communication in Avernus. That is a thing that's established in the book. I hate it. I hate it a lot.
Do we use telepathic communication?
No.
Gargouth. Every communication that Gargouth had with you from within the shield was telepathic. It's like Zariel would just immediately know Gargouth is in hell, and she would murder you and take the shield.
Yeah.
That would have been cool. No, that would have been cool if she would have ripped it from my hands and just fucked off because we weren't worth her time.
You know what she would do with it? She'd win the blood war. Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, it's kind of a big problem.
I wish Gargouth kind of had a bigger...
Level 3, we descend into Avernus, then Mordenkainen and Zariel are fighting.
Cool.
Yeah. Gargouth is a lesser god. I think he was a demigod. I don't think he was ever a lesser god.
What the fuck's the difference?
Lesser god's an actual god.
Demigod is just worshipped by...
Demigod's a half god. It's half versus 3/4 essentially.
Okay.
But it's probably half versus 1 versus 2.
Bayless coming in the chat. Hey turds.
Hey turds. Demigod tends to be half human. Yeah. So you said you wish that Gargouth had sort of more of a bigger impact. I had a plan that we would do a continuation after Avernus.
Mm-hmm.
And the rough plot of that continuation would essentially be, you guys return to the Prime Material, Elturel's saved, yay! You go to Baldur's Gate, because most of you are from there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you find out that, oh shit, Gargouth has taken control of the Knights of the Shield, who unknowingly worshipped him.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them knowing, like the high leadership knew they were worshipping him. The run-of-the-mill, like, everyday cultist did not. And then you're like, oh fuck, he's trying to take Faerun and make it the 10th hell.
Yeah.
And then, it would just be like this sort of like tier 3 into tier 4 kind of campaign where it's just like, oh, let's deal with that problem.
Zariel planted the shield in Baldur's Gate.
I call utter horseshit on that. That's definitely not true, because Gargouth has been in the shield for like 800 or 900 years, and Zariel has been the Archduchess of Avernus for 150 years or so. And I'm pretty sure the shield's been in Baldur's Gate for over 150 years. But yeah, Baldur's Gate 3, Mind Flayers. I don't...
Yeah.
When I started running Avernus, I assumed that Baldur's Gate 3 would come out before I finished running it. Yeah. And it didn't. And I'm really upset that I don't get to foreshadow anything.
Yeah.
I got pushed back, too.
Did it get pushed back?
Yeah. It was supposed to be out this, like, at the beginning of the year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Shit, they're fucking slacking. It's quarantine. People need shit to do. Come on.
Yeah, I think they're doing a lot of Q&A thing for it this weekend, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Quarantine's opening up a bunch of, like, really cool things. Like, someone on the Discord posted earlier that, like, Game of Thrones actors are playing an online D&D game.
Yeah.
It's like, everyone's stuck at home. What the fuck else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
It's, like, not the big
yeah,
actors
it's
though.
Ramsey, Hodor, Asha, Yara, and I think there was a 5th.
I think you're right. Can't remember.
I would want to see like Peter Dinklage actually play D&D. I feel like that'd be cool.
Yeah. No, of course he's not doing it. You know what I mean? Like it's not
Yeah.
Daenerys. It's not Jon
Podrick.
Snow. It's not Podrick. That's it. Wasn't
Osha. Sorry, Osha, not Asha. Asha is Yara.
Podrick is the one they kept saying like
Pod the Rod.
Yeah, he has like the biggest dick.
No, he doesn't have the biggest dick. He has the magic dick. I gotta pee.
Luke, have you seen like? I know you didn't watch the show. You watched clips, right? Have you seen any of that where Podrick just comes out of a room like full of whores, and the whores are like, "Oh my god, he was the best I've ever had," and he's fucking Peter Dinklage's what's the name? Tyrion. No, Tyrion. He was his what?
Squire or something?
Squire. That's
Guard?
it.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a squire. I thought that was funny.
That's great.
Oh, dude, someone just joined the Discord from Rick and Morty? That's awesome. No one joins because of Rick and Morty. Everyone's dragging a Icefire Peak or Avernus. No. No, we've had Andy's from Dungeon of the Man Mage. I feel bad for anyone that watched that. That was like fucking 50-some sessions. Jesus.
Yeah, 40. I think it was like 48 or something like that. But yeah.
What'd you say?
Did you say Dungeon of the Man Mage was 50-some sessions?
Yeah.
It's 42.
42, sorry.
Oh, 42. I thought 48.
I had another question for Luke's character. Did receiving the Holy Avenger early make you feel slightly overpowered, or do you enjoy that aspect of the game, like getting magic items and being able to like rock the combat aspect so you can get further in the story? You seem like a magic item sort of guy.
I'm a magic item sort of kind of guy when I'm a martial class, because martial classes don't have
Martial classes kind of rely on magic items.
Yeah.
Like I'm a cavalier fighter. I don't have any special unique ways to interact with a lot of stuff unless they come within 5 feet of me. So unless I have a magic item, it's kind of hard for me to interact in any special.
If you're a polar master, it'd be 10 feet.
Yeah. I don't think it was like too overpowered or anything like that. I think each character had their specific things that they were good at, and that just made me better in combat, which like I guess cool, but like wasn't a super big deal, I don't think.
Did your DPR match blankets? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Easily, yeah.
The sneak attack and all that bullshit.
Yeah, no, like a rogue is... Rogues are hilariously balanced against fighters.
Are they?
The ridiculousness came
I haven't
when
played
Blanket
either.
was throwing nat 20s.
Yeah.
Because his 66 turned into 66 plus 36.
Yeah.
And that was insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, rogues and fighters are totally balanced between fighter's extra attack and rogue sneak attack.
Hmm. Yeah, I haven't played either of those two. I have a problem with wanting to play
Spellcasters and then sucking at them?
No,
Jesus,
not
what'd you do?
spellcasters. I step on the cord. No, I have a problem with wanting to play characters that seem stereotypically D&D. Like paladins.
You don't
like
want
rogues,
to play
like,
those characters.
Like bards. Yeah.
Have you played a martial class other than a barbarian?
We got a barbarian, a warlock, a mystic, a ranger.
I think it's a big fat no.
Sorcerer, paladin, and then now
Yeah, I guess paladin's kind of. Yeah.
Paladin's martial.
Yeah, especially if you can cast any. I think you cast like one spell the whole campaign.
Yeah, used all of your slots for smite.
No, that was a channel divinity. Compelling duel or whatever.
Compelled duel is a spell.
Yeah.
But you never cast compelled duel. At no point did you ever
cast command a few times.
You did cast command a few times. That's a spell.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a paladin.
You're a paladin. 2d8 damage is way better than any first level spell. 2d8 guaranteed damage.
Yeah.
Because you do it on a hit. There's some chat questions I wanted to.
I haven't looked at the chat a little bit.
Where'd it go? Sean asked how many sessions was Avernus. It was 26 sessions.
Yeah.
Exactly half a year, which is neat.
I think it's the only question, babe.
No, there was another one. There's another one. Where'd it go?
Nope.
Oh, Ian, would you cure the party if I made more rare bears? So we've had some internal discussions, which is to say that Steph and I talked about it. We're thinking about making some changes to how summons work.
Because here's the thing. Let me just preface a few things. Because it's not to let you guys...
It's not to punish viewers.
Right. And it's also not to be money-grubbing horse, which you guys know, like, we are not about.
Yeah. We want... Things
are unbalanced currently, and that kind of needs to change. Every time the DM has a nat 20, it's like, fuck you.
Yeah. So with summons, we don't know exactly what we're going to do with them, but essentially the problem for us is that the idea with tip the scales, which is what summons are, that's the name of, that's the name we gave summons. It's called tip the scales. And it's supposed to be like, let me put a little weight here. So, it goes from here to here. But what it ends up being is it goes from here to here. It is a little bit too strong of an effect, I think. So I do think we want to tone them down a little bit.
The problem is, how do you do that without implementing a shitload of rules?
Like there's already so many rules for summons.
Yeah.
Like there's one per viewer per encounter. No legendary actions. DM has final say on its behavior.
And this stems from someone summoning something, and then we go, "Oh shit, we didn't account for that." And then suddenly this rule.
Yeah. I think literally every rule we've come up with is because of Lunariah. We love
also,
you.
like, it takes away some of the uniqueness, like going back to that question of like, oh, everyone be aware of bear. It's like, okay, like it's cool if it happened once and that's a select scenario, but then the whole party's rare bears. It's like, oh, okay, so what happened to that? Okay, I'm good at combat. Okay, I'm the smart one. Okay, I can do scouting. It's like, oh,
now we're all just immune to non-magical damage.
Yeah.
Let's go fuck shit up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not fun.
Yeah. So we don't know what we're gonna do, but we do want to make changes to summons. We have about 2 weeks to figure it out because we want to implement it starting with the Curse of Strahd campaign.
Yeah.
If you have suggestions, feel free to just like throw them at us. I will ignore probably 80% of them, but I won't ignure them. I'll just dismiss them. There's a difference.
We will consider everything.
Well, I'll consider every suggestion. Oh, there's a long.
Whoa.
Here's a thought, Ian. How about you come up with a list of lair actions and perhaps tweak summon to your list of lair actions, which should include legit bits from the book and, of course, homebrewed ones. Just a thought.
Ooh.
I spent 2 hours going through other streams looking for bit incentives for you. It's actually really funny because we came up with bit incentives by looking at other streams. The reason we came up with Cheerspiration and Nat 20s is because I saw another stream that had 500 bits. Give a +1 to one roll that a player makes. And it's just like...
You look at that and you're like,
that is a disgusting amount of money for someone to throw for no effect. Yeah, like... I feel like we came up with a good system and it just needs tweaking to perfect it.
Yeah.
I do like that suggestion that Z made about like the lair action type things. Like
you have a set.
A thunderstorm or lightning storm just occurs and
Thundersnow.
Thundersnow.
Yeah. Did you actually say thundersnow or did I hear things?
Oh, thundersnow and a lightning storm. I said that.
Anybody who doesn't know what that is a thing from.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That was Dragon Heist.
Fuck.
That's from Dragon Heist.
Misjoke.
Instead of Nat 20, give it +10. Yeah, I mean that's certainly a possibility.
That's just an auto hit.
Essentially an auto hit. I mean, it's sort of like War Cleric. Like that's a War Cleric ability.
But yes, Sean, we will no longer be doing 4E crits.
We are no longer doing 4E crits. So I think that as a DM, Nat 20s became way too powerful for the DM as compared to for the players. Because while the players are generally hitting, like Nixie specifically, she's got Eldritch Blast. She's firing 3 rays for 1d10 +5, and a crit gets her +10 damage. Whereas as a DM, as Yinago, I'm swinging for a 3d12 flail, which made no fucking sense to me. He's a huge creature, so his flail should already be 3d8, and then once a round he can add 2d12 to his flail, and it was just... I don't understand it, but a crit gave me plus 36 damage, essentially. And that was insane. That's a ridiculous amount of static damage to throw on a crit. So I want to get rid of... Yeah, bring on the Sacred Statue. It's a CR12 creature with 6d12 attack. A crit is plus... What's 6d12? 72. Plus 72 damage. Crit on the Gloomweaver. Although that crit wasn't a nat 20. That was just... He attacked an unconscious guy. But 4E crits... So the reason I implemented 4E crits was... when you get a crit, like, let's say you're just swinging a longsword one-handed, and you crit, and you roll a 1 and a 2. Well, fuck, I could have done better damage on a hit by just rolling a 4. So that's the reason I introduced 4E crits, was so that your crits never feel worse than your hits. But the odds of that are actually fairly low. The odds of rolling less than 9 on 2d8 are less than half. The odds of rolling less than 6 on 2d8 are probably less than a quarter, honestly. I haven't done the math.
And like you said, it's tip the scales, not flip the scales.
Right. Tip the scales, not flip the scales. I love it.
I'm gonna flip the fucking table.
Oh, puppy's nudging for pets.
She was outside that entire fucking time. She's like, what are you doing out there, dog? Eating shit.
Lunariah suggests just say crits are auto max instead of rolling damage. That's actually less damage potential than standard crits. So I'd rather just go with standard crits at that point. Because when you hit with a longsword and you've got plus 3 strength, you can do a maximum of 11 damage. There's a 1 in 8 chance of you doing that. And rolling a crit and just saying, I get 11, feels worse than getting a crit, rolling 2d8, and getting 13.
Yeah. The crit is already rare, making it seem like giving you that chance to do even more potential damage brings a sense of glee or wonder to it, rather than just having this, hey, okay, I crit, I know I'm going to do a massive amount of damage anyway, and it's like, oh.
Yeah. Incidentally, the thing that we call 4E crits isn't even how 4E handled crits, but I'm not going to get into that. Because 4E's shit. 4E was max damage plus extra dice, but the extra dice weren't equal to the original dice. They were equal to the extra dice that you get from your magic weapon. Whatever. But yeah, we are looking into ways to modify summons so that they're still satisfying for the people summoning them, but not flip the scales.
Yeah. We'll work on it.
We're working on it. We will have an answer by the 28th, which is when Curse of Strahd will have its session 1. If you drop 5,000 bits during our session 0, I will thank you for your bits and tell you to go away.
Sitting on 80,000.
Yeah. Please don't summon anything during a session 0, which is this Sunday. Sunday, 6 p.m. Curse of Strahd, session 0.
I thought you flipped everyone off for a second and realized you used your pointer fingers for everything.
Sunday.
Please stop. What makes a good fighter class? Are you asking for a friend?
Bayless, what the hell is that question?
No, I think he's asking for him.
I know. Like, what makes a good fighter class?
Fighters are great because they're so versatile. So the subclass is just, you have to determine what path you want to go. Do you want to be a little more magic-y? Do you want to be a little more defensive? Do you want to be a long-range fighter?
Thank you, Bayless! Take it by see the seat, but you'll only need the edge!
What?
That's a thing!
Ticket buys you the whole seat, but you only need the edge.
What? Oh.
Because you'll be on the edge of your seat. Get it?
Yeah, but I just don't know what that's from.
I think it's originally from that John Cena fucking meme video.
It might be.
Oh my god.
It's John Cena.
Was that John Cena?
Thanks for the good answer, Luke. Yeah. Don't patronize him.
Yeah.
Well, I think we went through everything.
Shit, we're at questions already?
Oh, I had high and low points for players.
I mean, high point's easy.
Anything to do with the war machines was super fucking neato for me. Soul Train provided a completely new sort of scenario that we haven't encountered before. And that was neat.
Thank you, everyone on the Avernus Discord.
Like, strategizing, like, how to get in, and then having Smiler as, like, this outside, like, assigning duties, or, like, that whole interaction was cool. The soul coins corrupting and me being able to just, like pick and choose, like, who I'm gonna lesser resto to, like, minimize the levels was neat.
I do kind of wish you guys had collected, like, more levels of corruption.
Why would we?
Because you had 30 or 40 fucking soul coins, you couldn't get away with it. I thought that would have been neat, but it didn't happen. Low point, Flying Fortress. Easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
That was one of the most painful combats we were in.
Yeah, I regret writing that.
What did you say?
That's you gotta take risks to figure things out. Like, not everything works.
Yeah.
I just feel so bad for Luke. Abaddon. I drive. Cool, Nixie.
And then what the Ilglen fight? I dash.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish
I drive and I dash.
Yeah, I wish I had just halved the size of that.
Yeah.
Lunaraya says, I told Ian he should have thrown in rust monsters. So number one, rust monsters don't affect the war machines themselves because they're magic. They're magical. Rust monster can't rust a war machine. Number two, Abaddon's armor was magical. Abaddon's weapon was magical. Nixie's weapon was magical. Blanket's weapon was magical. Blanket did not have metal armor. Literally the only thing that a rust monster could have affected was Nixie's armor. Which was, what, scale mail?
Half plate?
No, you didn't have half plate.
No.
I think you get scale mail.
Doesn't sound right.
Could have shot some of the lemures inside of the tires to make it slow down the car or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm just thinking of things right now. It's like, that would just make it even worse for us, but like, whatever.
Yeah, that would have made it worse and made the combat take longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, what I should have done, and I feel like I actually talked about this in the DM prep stream, immediately after that session. I wish that I had, I realized
scale mail is
very quickly that the lemures were just fucking worthless. They added nothing. So I wish I had realized that I wish I had decided at the time to just stop throwing lemures and just do the meteor swarm on 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah.
Feel the burn. I've had heat metal. I never used it.
Never used it.
I'm so upset.
I mean, half your fucking enemies are immune to fire.
Yeah, Artillerists isn't good in Avernus, guys.
Artillerists not great in Avernus.
Fireball, heat metal.
Wait, but is heat metal an artillerist spell?
No, it isn't. I'm just an idiot and had it prepared
for
some
okay,
fucking
cool.
reason. Because I wanted a damaging spell and then I never used it.
Heat metal's like really good damaging.
Heat metal is a disgustingly good spell, but not when your enemies are immune to fire.
Yeah. Artillerist is not good at but multiclassing into Warlock was pretty neat, but it fucked with my bonus action economy.
If you had been a battlesmith, you could have used int to swing with the Sword of Azuriel.
Yeah, and you could have had a battle dog.
You could have had a battle dog.
I don't want a battle dog.
Yeah.
I would have had to mend that shit up, like, fuck.
Well, here's the... Lunaria says heat metals redonk against plate mail, but not against hellish enemies. Here's the thing. Zariel's devils wear armor. Let me grab the Dyson Miscellany, which is this month's monthly giveaway.
We give you free shit.
I'm very drunk.
You won't get this Dyson Miscellany. So
you won't get this one. You'll get a brand new one that doesn't have dog hair in it.
That's just straight up vodka.
Yep.
What fucking brand is that?
I feel like there's probably supposed to be 4d6 in here.
But Smirnoff's the cheapest shit on the shelf, so I get that.
Yeah,
actually, no, it's not. Is it? No, Smirnoff isn't the cheapest.
Vlad vodka is the cheap shit.
What is?
Yeah.
Vlad vodka.
Vlad.
I don't think it's the cheapest.
They wear armor.
Yeah.
Is that fucking Belle?
What?
No.
This one? That's Lucille.
That's
Lucille. My bad.
Like, they actually have, like, metal armor on them.
Yeah, definitely.
Like
Find those
these are Avernian devils.
Yeah, they look a lot better. A lot of them
How
look a
fucking
lot
cool
better.
is that a
with
ringies?
Oh, there you go. Boom.
Mm.
Whoa, the
Yeah,
chain devil looks
Chain
cool as
Devil.
hell.
Yeah. Go back to Chain Devil.
I can't hear Luke. I don't have my headphone in.
Why do you not have your fucking headphones
Because
in?
I'm drunk.
Dumbass.
Dumbass.
You hear that?
I did hear that ass face. Why am I going back to Chain Devil?
It looks cool.
Oh, okay.
Something about his stance and just like.
Also, I could have
like,
just
he's
held this
cool.
up.
Holy shit.
Well, is that a dragon?
What?
No,
that's a Balor.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just super hunched over, so he's really
Looks
wide.
fucking cool.
Yeah, that's neat.
Where's his whip though? I mean his sword. I can see his whip.
His sword's just kind of like hiding. His sword's right there.
Oh, it's not lightning?
It's
What
not
the fuck?
lightning. It's just sword.
It looks like just a piece of
Trash.
glass.
Yeah. Looks like a piece of bone, honestly.
Yeah.
Piece of trash glass.
I just got tagged on our Discord.
Why? Don't be asking questions on Discord. We here, fam.
Oh, someone.
Yeah, I saw this.
Yeah, alright. People are asking questions, but I'm in the middle of a stream, so I'll answer after.
His username is not just okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
I lost a D6. I don't know where it went.
Oh god, I love some of the people that follow us because they're just the funniest
Fail-
fucking usernames. Ah,
So I'm new here from Rick and Morty versus D&D, and I'm curious, how do the Gilded Troll members know each other? Bayless goes, a bunch of us are viewers, some of us personal friends, and I do the art LOL.
plug yourself.
Yeah, I'll answer that after the stream.
Incidentally, in case you missed it, the guy that does all of our art is playing in the Curse of Strahd.
As well as two other of our viewers,
Yep.
Andy the Math Magician and J Miller 2377.
Fuck yeah.
They will be involved in our Sunday Curse of Strahd stream.
as well as
Sean and AJ, who are people we know in person. Since we're forced online, why not embrace it and play with people we couldn't play with otherwise? So we're playing with our viewers.
We have another surprise coming later on.
We have a surprise for later.
I didn't get an invite, dude. There was an application process. You fucking missed it. All right.
There was an application process. You missed it.
I think we tagged everyone in the Discord, right?
We tagged everyone in the Discord and we announced it on stream.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I think we posted it in the stream too.
Do you still have that up?
what?
The
I mean,
application thing?
technically, yeah. You can still apply.
You could apply, and then like for other campaigns that we do, where like if I decide to do one shots, or if anyone else wants to DM for like a game or two, like we.
I'll drop the link.
Yeah.
Why not?
You could fill it out for that, and like we'll keep you. But so the application tells us about your play style, and then we try to pair you with like-minded players.
Like-minded players, yeah.
So that just so you know, that's how that works.
Yeah, I just dropped the link in Twitch chat. So if you want to apply at this point, we are, I guess, technically still taking applications.
Yeah.
And we'll keep you guys in mind.
Oh yeah, we have
If you
played
ever
with
play-
12-sided
We
guy.
have played with 12-sided guy.
I forgot about that.
We just didn't stream it.
No, we didn't stream that yet.
If you guys ever plan a game with me, that means you're half an asshole.
Yeah, that's true. Because Luke's an asshole.
Yeah.
We all are. Don't fucking take that credit for yourself, you fucking shitbag. We're
No,
all
I'm
assholes.
talking about any viewer who does an application. That means they have to be half an asshole at least to play with me.
Z, feel free to fill out an application because one of the questions is literally when are you available, and we also match people by when they're available.
Yeah.
So
Time and play style, man.
No, we put people together by time, available, play style. I tried to design this like airtight so that I build groups of players that will have fun together.
Incidentally, I want to mention something. You had all the players do it too, right?
Yeah, I did.
Luke was the closest to Ian.
Yep. Out of anyone who applied,
almost identical.
Yeah. So I did a statistical analysis. Yeah, I did a statistical analysis
You're like 5 points
of how
away
far.
from him.
Yeah, because I took it too. I did a statistical analysis of how far apart people's playstyles were, and mine with Luke was 8, and the absolute
5.
no, it was 8.
Oh.
The absolute minimum is 0. Obviously, if you have the exact same playstyle, it's going to be 0, and the maximum was 72.
Fun fact though, you, me, and Chris were closest to Ian.
Lunaraya,
Which makes sense.
Makes sense.
The question asks if you have both for a good reason. We need you to have a webcam and a decent microphone.
You also need to be willing to stream. Duh.
Yeah, obviously. That would be a disqualifying question.
Yeah.
But yeah. Tim, I love data. I love all that shit. I'm not sharing my data. It's very secretive. It's very personal. Also, I don't want to share other people's data.
No, because that's super telling.
That's super personal. Like, I don't want to. Yeah, no, I don't want to share that.
It tells us a lot about like how you are as a player, but it also tells us a lot about how you are as a person. Not to say anyone that is playing is a complete fucking asshole, but like it does say a lot. Shut the fuck up. You were closest to Ian.
Exactly.
Which makes me
I want to know
asshole.
my point difference between me and Luke now.
Okay.
You know the numbers. Oh, Luke, you want to know something really bad?
So,
Out of all the viewers and all the players, guess who had the biggest discrepancy?
I don't know.
Me and Mike.
I could. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I could see it.
I've been playing with Mike for like 10 years, so like you can make a playstyle work.
You want to know Steph to Luke?
Yeah, Steph to Luke.
12.
Oh, 12 is really close.
The highest number I saw between any two people was 29.
Which was me and Mike.
Yes. Mike, 29. Yep.
12's not bad, though.
29. Yeah. Steph and Mike, 29. Highest difference, period.
But I have no problem playing with Mike.
That's because polar opposites and then intermediating people and bringing the two together. So you can enjoy both spectrums of the playstyle.
Right, as long as they're not intrusive on someone else's playstyle. If you're just playing your own,
Sean, your closest match was Jay Miller.
Which is why you're both
in the same group.
Yeah.
That was a score of 8.
So yeah, we turned this all into like really cool data, and we're hoping the groups work.
Hoping the groups work.
I don't see any reason they wouldn't.
So tune in on Sunday during our Curse of Strahd Session 0 for another announcement.
I don't think Luke answered what your favorite and least favorite parts of Avernus were. I said my favorites.
You didn't say your least favorite.
Your fucking...
Yeah.
The role-playing session where you disapproved greatly of me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
It was great, but it made me feel like shit. But I like role-playing, even if it's like...
Are you talking about when we first did it and we were in person and we were like talking at the table?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I really like that because like we don't usually we aren't usually at odds with each other.
No.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
It was like a high-low point. I can't think of another low point.
I mean, we already talked about like the whole barrage and all that.
Yeah.
But high point, highest point.
Was there something done in this campaign that you didn't have in another campaign that really stood out?
Something done in this campaign that wasn't in others. I feel like the unknown, like a lot of campaigns that like you don't know exactly what's going on, but you have an idea of what's going on. In Avernus, it's okay. No one knows what the fuck's going on. You're going out there, you're exploring, and not only are you exploring, but you know it's not going to be great when you're exploring. Like nothing there. The large majority of the time, there's not going to be like a caravan that's flipped over and you have to save some villagers. No, like you're getting into shit no matter where you turn, and you always have to be on edge. So that was
certainty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually really funny because I was reading through Curse of Strahd earlier today, and like one of the marks of horror is fear of the unknown.
Yeah. Dude, that's why jump scares like it's an adrenaline rush every time. That's why I watch horror movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like the wow, I guess I'm liking that much. I can't remember his name. The guy with the Soul Train heist.
Smiler the Defiler.
Yeah, I wanted to say Pierre, but like I knew it wasn't that. But Because we found him on the edge of a cliff peeing off the edge.
Oh, that's funny. Peeing.
He was just peeing on your fucking camp too.
Fucking asshole.
Yep.
The best part was I just had this concept that like you were gonna run into Smiler on the way to Red Ruth, and I didn't know what form that was gonna take. And you guys were like, we camp out under an overhang, and then I was just like, well, I guess he's peeing off the overhang.
Yeah.
It's okay. Peeing on your camp keeps the snakes away. The hell snakes.
Everyone thought that was a typo for peering. No, not peering off a cliff. Peering into the wind. It literally says in the book, peeing into the wind. And there's a bunch of people, myself included, that think it was a typo that's supposed to say peering.
Oh, that's funny.
He's just like... But no, he's just pissing into the wind.
That's something you do with, like, sun. I don't know.
Peeing into the
Peering
wind.
into the wind doesn't sound
Why
right
would
either.
you pee into the wind? It's gonna blow
Gonna
back
pee-
on you.
Yeah.
You can pee into the...
Flashback.
Okay, so if the wind is coming this way, you're peeing this way, like, your pee will go that way, and you're still peeing into the wind. Right?
God.
Someone back me up. I don't have a dick. I
No,
don't know how this works.
no.
Pissing into the wind is a euphemism.
Yes.
It is. But it didn't say pissing, it said peeing.
Maybe they got the word totally fucking wrong. How about that?
Maybe they were trying to like tone it down with peeing instead of pissing.
What are they gonna say next? Pooing?
I don't know. We're literally in fucking hell. You can say piss.
We met him at the urination station.
I
Oh my god.
Pissing into the wind. To be doing something totally pointless, fruitless, or futile.
Don't you, Steph looks at Ian. I said I don't have a dick. Ian's just choosing to ignore that.
No, I was looking at the peeing into the wound.
Oh
Jesus,
god,
Z.
stop! It's not a jellyfish sting.
Yeah,
You don't pee on it.
No, I was just looking at the Google form to see if we got it.
That makes it worse. Don't do that. Don't pee on your jellyfish stings.
I have to ask why Tim spelled out the word 13. Whatever.
Yeah, why?
Why did
Use your numbers, man.
Bruh.
PG-13 is
Bruh.
PG-1.
This isn't MLA. You can just numeralize numbers above 10.
I'm tired.
Good
I'm
answer.
tired, so
I mean, it is like 2 a.m.
Yeah, it's 2 a.m. Do you ever sleep? Dude.
Yeah, you just...
You go to fucking bed.
Okay. Fuck. Are you out of questions?
We touched on a lot of them, even if it was briefly.
I stay awake for you bitches and then I get abuse.
That's why you
You
stay.
stay awake for abuse?
Jeez, dude. You need therapy.
I told you I'm an asshole.
Oh, I really liked Icar. Which was such a
Yeah.
small detail, but Icar was a lot of fun to fuck with.
Alright, so real talk, there's supposed to... Okay, so it's supposed to be if you touch Icar, there's a con save versus curses.
That's how Last Call was born.
That is actually how Last Call was born. But you guys are like, I drink it. I'm like, oh.
Your insides melt. You're pissing fire.
No, I literally just didn't give you a save. Like, you just get the
Yeah.
Oh,
mutation.
okay. Yeah. No, I thought that was cool. Anything like completely random, I'm all about. Is there a dice roll involved? Like, fuck it, I want to eat it or drink it.
I think that's why we're only 12 points away.
That's not really like in the application. Did you know? So like randomness or like the chaotic nature of the game is like why I play. I feel like that should be a question. Like, do you enjoy the randomness of D&D? But how do you put that in a question form?
You just asked a question.
No, like a question on the application like that.
Yeah, you were staring at her for the longest time. I'm like, is she saying something that I don't understand?
Yeah,
Like,
my
what?
bet unclear right now? No, he's gone. I'm fine.
I thought you meant like as a last call question. I'm like, you just asked the question.
No, like he said that's why we're only 12 points away, but like there isn't a question like that.
I didn't hear the 12 points away.
But our play styles are very similar.
Yeah.
That's why we.
Um.
Poor Bayless. I'm so far away from Bayless, and so is Luke. That like, point wise, like our play styles aren't apparently from our data.
And that's why the two of you are not in the Curse of Strahd group.
I'm gonna show up as an NPC.
And that's all I'll say on that topic.
Dude, I'm gonna be an NPC and Bayless is gonna draw me though.
What the fuck? That's my laptop freezing.
Draw me like
No,
one of
you
your
were just
French
staring for a
girls.
long time. I thought you were frozen too.
Oh, okay. I was just staring. No, I was staring at Steph for a while.
I mean, stop the eyebrow game, all right? Not the time. Not the time.
Ian's. Jeez. Lunaraya, you need autocorrect.
Ian's
Brown Doe EXE.
what?
I think it's like Ian's brain.exe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he's using voice to text.
Oh.
Brain.exe? I don't know.
Oh.
Oh, he's doing it on purpose. Yeah, okay. It's 2:30. Go to bed.
Yeah, dude, you're on the other side of the world too.
Yeah.
God.
Bayla says you'd still want to play with Steph and Luke. I mean, yeah,
I do
I can't
too.
put everyone
I
in
do
every
too.
group.
No, but
Come on.
I'll try to do a series of one shots, and maybe I can like convince Luke to DM like a one shot occasionally too, and like we can get like small groups together for just a session because I think that'd be fun.
That is one thing I wanted to ask about Avernus. We unleashed that whole like demon spewer bug lady thing, but how was that any way to actually go into that or follow up with that?
Demon what?
I missed it.
The mud skipper like
Oh,
looking thing.
Krokek Toak.
Yeah.
that.
So there's a few ways to interact with it. So number one, you could actually just like chase it down and fight it. And like it has a recharge 5/6 ability that just summons demons, which is just fuck. But one of the ways that in the book you can interact with that thing existing is if you smear the blood of a good creature on anything, that thing will show up and try to eat it. So if you fail to redeem Zariel or don't try to redeem Zariel, you can actually use Krokek Toek to gnaw through the chains that attach Avernus, Elturel to Avernus.
Damn.
By
that's cool.
smearing your blood on them.
That's freaking cool. How the hell are you supposed to figure that out though?
I have no fucking clue. Let's be goddamn real. I have no idea. But Chapter 5 actually, that brings up a good topic. Chapter 5 had a lot of ways to handle the final encounter. So, like, you could get Krokek Toek to chew through the chains. You could actually make a deal with Tiamat to destroy the chains. Alright, Luke's leaving. I'm just going to talk at the viewers now.
You're gonna what now?
Talking at the viewers, because Luke's gone, you're gone. I'm just sitting here alone. But yeah, like, there's a lot of ways to interact with the ending of the game. And I made sure prior to last session to prep because I wasn't sure what the players were going to try, and I wanted to make sure I was able to at least start to adjudicate, what happens when they try these, off the wall bullshits that players are inevitably going to try.
Mm-hmm.
It was just I thought it was really funny that you guys were like, how the fuck do we get up to Elturel? And Lou was like, I can teleport.
I thought it was a Steph cooking show, just her off screen. All we need were the whirring noises.
That was Breath of the Wild. When you were making fucking whipped cream.
While you were streaming Breath of the Wild,
Yeah.
like, I want berries and cream.
Luke will DM a homebrew with the thunder of Talos that he will wing off the top of his head. Talos!
God, watch that fucking... That's like one of the most funny sessions. When Ian got too drunk to DM and Luke's like, it's alright, I got it.
I had a really bad day at work.
If you guys, so on Discord, everyone tag Luke and say,
Oh,
run
God.
a one-shot.
Yeah, just
Say it with me.
at Luke, run a one-shot. Yeah.
Dude, you could probably read a one-shot in 2 hours and run it. I have to fucking study for like 10 hours to run something.
Lunarai asks, since Lulu could become gargantuan, what would happen if she strapped a demon grinder to her back and teleported? I don't think she could.
What?
So the demon grinder has a weight of 12,000 pounds. As a mammoth, she has a strength of 24.
Oh god, people are already
So
doing
the
it,
total
aren't they?
lift capacity of 24 strength is 720 times 3 times, so 2, 4, 8. because of being gargantuan. So her maximum lift capacity was 5,760 pounds. The demon grinder weighed 12,000 pounds. So Lulu literally could not lift that vehicle in order to teleport it.
I really want to see Lulu with like an overpowered jetpack now, though. Yeah.
I mean, as a fucking mammoth, she had a flight speed of 120. She already is a jetpack.
Yeah.
Just blowing fucking rocket fuel out her asshole.
Glitter.
Rocket fuel glitter.
Yeah, thank you.
Jesus.
Bayless in Discord. Steph and Luke run a one-shot.
Oh wait, is that actually happening already?
Well, see, because forming groups based on strict data is... It might not be optimal, but like it makes the most sense. But I would like a one-shot is a good way to see if people who don't necessarily mesh together can actually mesh together, like me and Mike.
Did someone ask that question?
What?
Where'd that come from?
No, because...
No, she's just bringing it up because of one-shots.
Yeah. I would like to do one-shots with people who wouldn't necessarily work together,
okay,
like me, Luke, and Bayless.
I did not understand.
Kind of weird. That data was really weird to look at, especially when we got players to do it, so we had, like, controls, kind of.
Yeah, because we played together for years already,
Right.
so...
Yeah. We never had Megan take it.
No.
I wonder what Megan's answer.
Megan kind of isn't on the Discord anymore.
I'm curious what her answers would be, though. I need more to drink. Where the fuck is... Do you have any harder left?
Just killed it.
Well, it's Friday.
There's no cold ones.
You're gonna keep drinking. What?
There's no cold ones.
Fuck.
So drink it piss warm.
You're just gonna pour vodka in a
2
glass?
shots of vodka.
Do you even have, like, seltzer to pour in there? Oh my god.
That's way too much.
That's like 4 ounces.
You better help.
That's it. I ain't helping.
You better help!
Jesus. How would you actually release the Zap Pony, and what would happen if you did?
Zap Pony.
Zap Pony? The
Unicorn.
unicorn and the demon zapper? Its name is Moon Color.
What?
Its name is Moon Color.
What?
That's stupid.
I'm gonna double check that.
What?
I'm gonna double check that because I'm pretty sure that's his name because I have a Moon Color. The light cascades from a unicorn named Moon Color.
What the fuck?
Moon Color, like red, blue, green color. 12-sided guy says he has a Waterdeep one-shot to run if we ever want him to DM for us.
I have Waterdeep.
The year is 1500 DR. That's 6 years from now. What the hell, dude? It's 1494. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Moon Dapple? Moon Caller? No, Moon Color. I drank a lot. Welcome to the last call at the Gilded Troll. Get your drinks in.
Would you like to stop streaming?
Do we have more questions?
No.
More things to talk
I've
about?
been out for half an hour. This happens every time.
Do we have more things to talk about though?
I don't know.
I had a lot of fun with Avernus. No, that was the end of that thought. Answer my question. What the fuck questions you ask? What? How would you actually release it? I don't know. I didn't prep the demon zapper. Oh, to free the unicorn, you have to destroy the rusted metal structure around it, which has AC 14, 250 hit points, and immunity to poison and psychic damage. That's it.
Alright.
That's it. Like, there's no defenses, so you just beat on it for a while.
I really liked Avernus too. I just wish we would have had the foresight to. We started with a 5-person party and then it quickly kind of dissolved, and I do regret that. But introducing new players to D&D is hard, and Avernus might not be the best campaign to start with. So
yeah,
they were just new to D&D at the same time Avernus came out.
I couldn't hear you. What? He just goes whatever. Yeah, tune in for Curse of Straw on Sundays. We're gonna have another announcement on Sunday about something else we're cooking up. I don't know what's gonna happen with Last Call. I have plans for Jeopardy, which was supposed to be this Friday, but then we finished the Avernus campaign, and now we're doing this instead of Jeopardy. But I don't know if
at the end of the day, Last Call is based on Gilded Troll Tavern, so it doesn't have to be specific to D&D. So if you guys have other topics that you're interested in that may be of similar interest to us, let us know. Video games, life, work, whatever you want to talk about. Maybe
Open forum.
yeah, open forum. Maybe we'll go with that direction. Who knows?
I feel no. I think we have enough people in chat that it probably could be open forum. I feel like sometimes we do last call and it's like 3 people talking.
Well, I mean that's what I feel like. If it's last call is the best time to just engage with the viewers. So if you guys want to talk about a specific thing, and it's a little different than just talking on Discord. One, I'm a lot more present, and two, you can actually get our responses with through our voices.
I messaged you on Discord earlier for the record asking if you're okay for last call tonight. I just didn't get an answer, so I'm like, Ian.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Text him. Yeah. But yeah.
Life is pain.
Life is pain, not suffering. What are you talking
about? We need to put that on a fucking shirt. We have a merch store.
We have a merch
Guys,
store. Merch store.
We're gonna put that on a fucking t-shirt.
How would I possibly put the head of Vecna in one of my campaigns? All of my players are aware of that fucking meme.
Yeah.
I mean,
just because we're aware of it doesn't mean we wouldn't do it.
Luke would do it just to see what happens. Like, maybe Ian actually made a head of Vecna. I don't know.
Wait, is there a randomness?
Huh?
What?
Okay. Steph apparently doesn't know about the head of Vecna. But Sunday we're doing Curse of Strahd, 6 p.m. EST, Curse of Strahd Session 0. But then after that, so 2 weeks after Sunday, so starting the 28th, we're going to do Curse of Strahd. And the campaign is actually going to be at 1 p.m. instead of 6 p.m. Because that just works for us better.
Yeah.
Works better for us. Yeah, that was the end of that thought. I don't know why I had like a ... tone.
Fact that was possibly similar to the hand and eye effect. Okay.
There was a DM that had 2 parties that were like fighting each other, and one of the parties invented this thing called the head of Vecna, where you chop off your head and then the rest of your party puts the head of Vecna on you.
Okay.
It didn't exist. It wasn't a thing. So they literally got most of the opposing party to chop off their own fucking heads willingly. And they just kept dying.
Dude, that's some like Lord of the Flies shit.
And it was not remotely Lord of the Flies. It had nothing to do with Lord of the Flies. Utterly unrelated. Thanks for coming, guys.
That's funny. So yeah, give us ideas for last call so I can keep this going. This is kind of my thing, and I like having
Steph's the host.
I like having something really informal because I don't have to spend hours and hours preparing it like I do.
You literally spend like 20 minutes coming up with questions.
Yeah, because conversation between you, me, and Luke is easy,
Super
and then chat
easy.
helps. It's
yeah,
like
chat helps, and then the guest occasionally helps too.
Right. And this is why people
Actually, have
like
we had a guest that
players.
wasn't like useful?
Who wasn't useful?
Yeah. Dude, I'm way too drunk to be diplomatic.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. Like, I think all of our guests have
been able to contribute.
Yeah.
D&D Jeopardy, yes. I made questions.
Yeah, it might not happen next week because of scheduling conflicts.
Yeah, I don't think Chris is able to.
But I think the week after that it'll work.
The thing is, I just need 3 players.
So just me, Luke, and Mike.
I don't see why not. Jeopardy's 3 players. So yeah, let's plan for next Friday.
Yeah.
I need a buzzer app.
Yeah.
So you can ring in.
Yeah.
Because online is.
It's gotta be an online buzzer app.
Oh my god, the last fucking D&D Jeopardy we had, we actually had physical buzzers, and I was way too drunk to operate them.
It's fine. AJ operated it.
Barely.
Barely. I operated it half the time.
Yeah.
I was just like, clear. I was like, let me hit the clear button so I can buzz in again.
I don't know why the clear button was a thing. Why wouldn't it auto reset in like fucking 10 seconds? Like, how hard is that to program into a tiny little toy? It's a kid's toy!
It was $100 kid's toy.
Fucking
that thing was disgustingly expensive, but it's okay. We returned it to Amazon.
Amazon sponsor us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm at shit. So, enjoy your weekend, guys. Join us on Sunday.
I'm gonna do it.
What are you doing? Oh, you're spoiling it now?
That's it. That's all you get.
We already talked about it, idiot.
That's all you get.
We had an entire last call about it, with just me and you. Don't you remember?
Well, I mean, that's not Theros.
No, but I held this book up during that last call.
It's fine.
This is what I'm working with, guys.
Drunk.
I would have loved to see drunk Steph trying to work a buzzer.
The VOD?
Nope, we deleted it because it was that bad.
We didn't put it on YouTube.
Nope.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Oh no.
Nope.
Yeah.
Do I count as a sponsor if I supply another book? I mean, technically, I guess.
Yeah, 12-sided guy sponsor us.
Technically, sponsor us. What was my favorite summon during the campaign?
Oh my god, Lindoraya. You do all the summons.
A lot of summons. Oh god, Discord.
I kind of like the thing that turned Fulg into a scorpion.
Pixies.
Yeah.
Pixies are pretty cool.
Yeah, that was neat. Chesty was cool.
I actually really enjoyed that last Afridi. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoyed both Afridis. I thought they were both fun. Really fun.
The three I named were my top three. Folk was a stag to be a scorpion.
Yeah. I mean, he had 1 hit point prior.
Yeah, he's like, hell yeah!
Snip, snip!
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
Storm Sorcerer's really cool. I think it might be better than Shadow.
Yeah, probably. I think statistically it's better than Shadow.
Shadow's kind of weak.
12-sided guy, don't at me with that 3D printer bullshit. I haven't played in person for 3 months, so I haven't touched my fucking 3D printer.
Yeah.
Either of them.
No.
Mr. Bayless, you are not my only tier 2 sub. I have 3 of them.
Ooh.
The
War Priest is clutch.
What is your OnlyFans account,
Dude.
bruh?
Dude, we forgot about the War Priest.
Oh god, fucking Tormund. Yeah, twice. Thank you, Fast Leody. Or was that Jay? Ah, Jesus, I can't keep people straight.
What?
Who summoned the War Priest twice?
Jay Miller.
Was that Jay Miller?
Or no, was it
Fast Leody? That's what I just said.
Jay Miller
Shit!
was?
Folk never banished the Afridi, though. Yeah, that's true.
No. Who did Folk try to banish and then he failed?
I think he tried to banish...
Inigo.
Did he try to... No, I don't think he ever tried to banish Inigo, but he did banish a bunch of people.
No, it wasn't Unigo. It was the thing in
the Hezro.
Yeah.
And then at Nat 20, and then he tried again, and it got banished.
Well, Scrub stepped up to my level.
Yeah.
Bayless thinks he owns it because the tier 2 emote is...
The tier 2 emote is Bilbus.
Yeah.
I mean, someone's got to get a tier 3 sub so they can use Bayless.
Bayless, we told Luke recently about the origin of Bilbus because he didn't know.
Yeah.
It was funny. It was supposed to be Abaddon.
Yeah.
I haven't drank any of this yet. I'm scared. It's like half vodka.
That's vodka too.
It's water, dipshit.
I know. Drink that.
Very cool. I'll pretend it's vodka and drink my water.
Fast Leody over here spamming Bilbus. Wait, what the fuck? 12-sided guy? Wait.
Alright, we need to end this.
Wait.
We're just distracted.
Did I just miss a sub? Wait, hold up.
What?
Someone just used... 12-sided guy just used the Bayless emote. But I didn't get a notification about a tier 3 sub.
Oh wait, that's tier 3?
That's tier 3.
Oh my god, that Bayless emote is absolutely
Oh my god, 12-sided guy, did you just... Oh, channel points, you motherfucker.
Oh, we missed it.
I didn't know you could get tier 3 emotes with channel points.
Shit.
Oh, I didn't know that. You fucker.
He dropped a me.
No, wait, hold up. Our sub points is 8 higher than our subscribers. No.
Alright.
I think 12-sided guy tier 3 subbed. If so, thank you. Thoroughly.
Yeah, we totally missed that. Like, I didn't
get an alert. Yeah. Like, it's not even in the stream manager. But the origin of Bilbus. Bayless is asking what's the Bilbus origin.
What the fuck you know,
what the fuck?
idiot?
You made it! So when we first commissioned Bayless to do our art for Avernus, we gave him like the barest of descriptions for each of the characters so that he could just start sort of brainstorming
until the players
actually provided like full descriptions of the characters.
Yeah.
And then Bayless was just like, whoa, like I have this really cool fucking idea for Abaddon, like here's like what it looks like. And then Luke was like, yeah, so he's in his 60s and fat and sitting on the floor. And Bayless was like,
what?
So here's this sketch I have that's nothing like that, but I really love it. So I'm gonna keep working on that because I love it. And then he finished it, and he's like, "Can you please like make this a character?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. I'll throw him in. What's his name?" Bilbus Lion Brave.
Which is why he was also a Hell Rider, because it was supposed to be
like it was supposed to be Abaddon.
Yeah.
That's
funny as shit.
Yeah, that's where
I love how the artist in him was like, I really like this guy.
No, seriously, we have 43 sub points, and I'm just like, what?
All right.
If you get a tier 2 sub, you unlock the Bilbus one too.
Yeah, tier 2 gets you Bilbus. Tier 3 gets you Bayless.
Abaddon Light.
No.
It's Abaddon Light.
Abaddon Light.
Yeah.
It's adorable.
That is cute.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious.
Tune in Sunday. Curse of Strahd. What time?
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
EST.
EST.
Session 0. We're gonna make characters.
D&D Jeopardy next Friday. That's all.
Next Friday?
That's all that's on the schedule right now. There's no more Rick and Morty, no more Avernus. Sorry, guys. Ian might play Breath of the Wild at some point because he likes streaming.
I was actually thinking of doing that right now. Like, not even ending the stream, just like switch it to Breath of the Wild.
No, I want to play Beat Saber.
Sucks.
Oh, you suck.
We can do both.
No, we can't.
Why not?
Wait.
We can do both.
You just don't have a TV to look at. That's
fine.
problem.
I don't need a fucking TV for Beat Saber.
You
don't need the TV. We're gonna play Breath of the Wild and Beat Saber. So stay tuned.
Die.
Yeah, the computer's gonna fucking explode.
Oh, wait, no. Wait, Beat Saber while streaming? I think should be fine. It's a beast of a computer.
I'm not streaming Beat Saber.
No, I'm streaming Breath of the Wild. Steph's gonna play Beat Saber on the other side of the room.
Yeah, no one's allowed to see me exercising.
But stay tuned. We're gonna go be right back. I have a scene for that, I'm pretty sure.
For fuck's sake.
I got a scene for that.
Are you seriously doing this right now?
Yeah, I'm doing this right now.
Alright.
Yeah, it's fine.
I like talking to Luke after. Usually
I mean, we can do that.
Uriah's got it.
Huh?
Uriah said Breath of the Drunk.
Breath of the Drunk. Breath of the Saber. Beat of the Wild. Yeah, so stay tuned. I'm going to play Breath of the Wild in a little bit. Steph's going to play Beat Saber. You're not going to be able to see her, or you might hear her music.
You'll hear me breathing heavily.
Yeah. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Thanks for watching, guys.
Bye.
Bye.